everyone, welcome to part 1 of DIY air freshies. So these air freshies are super cute. You can hang them around your house, you can hang them in your car, wherever you want, and they will give off wonderful aroma, wonderful fragrance for quite a while. So there's a part 1 and a part 2 of this. This is definitely a project that's going to take a couple weeks to do. So just make sure that you are aware of that and that you plan for it, okay? Because the first thing that you're going to need is you're going to actually need to make your aroma beads, okay? So we're going to do that now in this video, and then in part 2 we'll actually work on the car freshie. So to make our aroma beads, you have a 4-ounce jar in your kit, okay? So you're going to actually pour in to this jar some of your aroma beads. You have 8 ounces of aroma beads, so you should be able to fill this jar 2 times to do projects. Yes, if you have another jar, you are more than welcome to go ahead and utilize that. Okay, so you can eyeball this and put in about half, or you can, use a measuring cup, whatever your preference is. I'm using this inside line here to fill mine. And that is going to be about half. Okay? Alright. So there we go. The next step is for 4 ounces of beads, we need 1 ounce of fragrance oil. Okay? So take one of those bottles take one of those fragrance bottles that you have, and you're going to pour the whole 1 ounces into the glass jar. Ooh, that smells so good. I'm using lemongrass fragrance this time around. So once you do that, you're going to put your lid back onto your jar. Now notice the fragrance oil only comes up maybe about 1/3 of the way. So now you can roll it around because you want to get all the beads covered, and you want to shake it, get them all covered. Alright, so as you can see here, they are sticking to the side of the glass. So what you want to do is you want to put this somewhere, right, in your house that you'll see it. And every time you walk past this, I want you to pick it up and I want you to give it a shake. We're going to continue to do that until these beads are dry. How will we know if these beads are dry? They're going to stop sticking to the sides of the jar, okay? So depending on things like humidity or whatever, it might take a little longer in your house than mine. We'll see. Hello everyone, welcome back to the HU Crafty Club. This is part 2 for the air freshies, okay? So we are going to get started now that our beads have dried. We're going to get started by adding a little color. I'm going to reuse this bag that I have because I'm going to color these pink. So here's what you're going to do. I decided I'm going to make a pink heart. So I need all my beads to be pink. So you just pour in the amount of beads that you want to color, whether that's all of them or some of them. Once you have your beads in the bag, go ahead and grab your mica powder. And as I mentioned, I'm going to use pink. There are gloves in your kit if you want to put them on for this process. But I'm just going to take 1 scoop of mica powder and drop that in because it doesn't take a lot. Zip my bag back up, and now I'm going to go ahead and just kind of massage or rub or give it a shake, but we're going to just mix this up until our beads have a little color. Now, one thing about this process is you don't want to use too much mica, because if you use too much, then the beads won't stick together. It only takes a little bit to color your beads. Okay? So now that they're colored, we can move on to the next step. Now we are ready to bake our air freshie. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab a cookie sheet. I'm going to put down a piece of parchment paper. And then on top of that, I'm going to put my cookie cutter. I am then going to go ahead and add my beads into the inside of the cookie cutter. In an ideal situation, you would want to fill this up to no more than 3/4 of the way full. Alright, so now you're going to put a nail or a screw, and the most important thing is to make sure that it's got a flat head because it needs to be able to stand up. So I'm going to go ahead in there and I'm going to put this where I want it. And then I'll move these beads around. I'm going to try to make them as even as possible. And again, you want this to be half full to 3/4 of the way full. Once you're satisfied, you can go ahead and put it in the oven, 300 degrees Fahrenheit for 9 minutes. 300 degrees Fahrenheit for 9 minutes. Alright, so we're going to take these freshies out of the oven. So when you take them out of the oven, you want to still be able to see the beads, like you want to see the shape of the beads. You don't want it to be completely melted down and like liquefied. You want to still see it retain that shape. So those look good. I'm going to let them cool off for about 5 minutes and then pop them out. Alright, so here's our heart. First we're going to peel this parchment paper off, and I'm going to recommend that you peel it really slowly. If you peel it too fast, you're going to leave parchment paper on your freshie. Trust me, y'all. Trust me on this one. So you want to peel it nice and slow. Alright, I'm going to pop that off. Now that we have that, I'm going to go to the front side and I'm going to apply a little pressure around the edges. Okay? Just around the edges. And that is going to allow my freshie, you see that? It's popping right out. Popped out effortlessly. Okay? So then you can reuse this as many times as you want. If you have these ridges and you don't like them, you can actually take a pair of scissors and just trim them off. And then the last thing is you're going to push this nail through. So you all have a nail or a screw, right? If you have a screw, you can actually push it and then twist it and screw it out. Okay? If you have a nail, then you're just going to push it. Just going to push it out. Okay? Alright, so this, it will come out, I promise you. Just a little bit of effort. It'll come out. And it will, that's going to be your hole that you can put a string through in order to hang your freshie. Alright, so that's awesome. So this is your Freshie. I just grabbed a piece of string from my kit, and I put a piece of tape on the end, if you can see that. But that's just to help me. You might have no problems getting the string through your hole. So that's going to help me feed the string through my hole. And then I'm just going to, I used way too much string, but I'm going to just tie, no I'm not, wait, hold on, no I'm not, no I'm not. I'm going to trim this down some. I'm going to add a bead, I'm going to add 2 beads. Alright, I ended up getting another piece of tape, so I'm going to wrap this tape around both pieces now. Okay, much easier. So I'm going to put that bead on there, and then I'm going to add a round one as well. And these beads can be colored if you want to. And then I'm just going to tie a knot in this string. It's better to have it longer so that the person that you give it to can trim it up. So cute. Okay, I'm going to work on this side. So I'm going to add a piece of cardstock. Oh, I didn't think about the colors of my designs, y'all, when I was coloring this. I just wanted it to be pink. I actually like this one, so I'm going to go with this one right on top. What was I thinking? I should have made it blue, huh? Okay, so all I'm going to do is take some hot glue and add it to my card. I'm going to try to smooth it so it's kind of thin. And then I'm just going to place it down. Center it as best I can. Smooth it out. And voila!